Hey, listen, real life. Uh, Sometimes instead of asking for a seat at the table, you need to build your own table.
Yes.
Um,
I agree.
and that's a perfect
I
way to
agree.
get into this stupid ass Rooney Rule.
Let's
Uh,
get into this Rooney Rule, man. It's Rooney with. Hey, Mike, did you see the details of this Rooney Rule?
No, I hadn't. I was actually trying to get in when you guys were going to talk about it because I don't know what's going on yet.
Let me see if I can. Jay,
Yep.
introduce it. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
So I know just a little bit about it. It's just incentivizing hiring offensive minority candidates on every NFL staff. But just the
not
the
incentivizing,
term for
it's
what
making it mandatory.
mandatory, but they're still gonna incentivize you for doing it. But anyways, I don't think it's stupid, Jay. It's just like just how you were saying with publicity. No publicity is bad publicity in a sense. I mean, speaking about it brings awareness, right? So just mentioning it, like with the new Rooney Rule, probably can help. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Oh yeah, it's a perfect rule or no, because it has its flaws. I mean, but that's just society has its flaws. But at the same time, I'm not gonna say something that's trying to help minorities is stupid.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's a glass ceiling though, Cass.
First of all, when you look at minorities, the definition of a minority is really
Broad.
loose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's several ways you can be a minority. People think that the old-fashioned definition of minority is less than majority is it is in play. Well, the majority is straight white male. That's the majority. Anything that diverts from that is now minority. So
I
gay
would say
white
straight white
male.
female.
Female falls into minority. Just
All
female.
female.
Yeah.
But
I know that's
but gay white male is a minority.
Correct.
Bisexual white male is a minority.
Correct.
Questioning white male, curious white male is a minority.
Right. Jewish white male
Is a minority.
is a minority. So anytime you see any type of language that where there's a complaint that black men aren't being given equal opportunity, and the solution is the language in it is minority, which includes everyone. That's just a loophole tied into the solution for them to use to still continue to not be equal toward black men. This
But
this
not only
voting
that,
rule was
like,
supposed to help black men get jobs, but now they're opening it up and saying female or any other ethnic minority or racial minority has to be hired.
but here's the biggest problem with this. If I gotta make a rule to tell you, hey, you should be fair, then there's a problem behind that.
Correct.
Period.
Correct.
In the discussion, so they keep saying, hey, there's no issue, there's no issue, there's no issue. But the scientifically, you can prove that there's an issue. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
can prove by hiring practices that the black man won't be hired, and if he's hired, he's usually a transitional coach because you can do moderately good and still get fired.
Right. Let me
Let me-
get the highlights. Let me get the highlights, and then I'm gonna let them jump in, Jay. So here it is, and this is according to CBS. Just three main points. They saying at the beginning of the season, all 32 clubs must employ a female or a member of an ethnic or racial minority to serve as an offensive assistant coach. Teams will receive league funding toward the coach's salary for up to 2 years, and virtual interviews will no longer be acceptable for a head coach or general manager positions, according to the NFL's chief administrative officer. So that's the highlights of it. That's the high notes. This is supposed to help enhance the Rooney Rule as it was before. All right, go ahead.
So I guess two things for me. I don't have a problem with the Rooney Rule, but I have a problem with the fact that it specifies offensive assistant coach. I can completely understand, you with your management, your staff, let's have some diversity. I completely get that. I'm with that. But to specify it to one specific position, to me, I that's kind of hit or miss, because now it's like, if I'm getting hired for an assistant coach, offensive assistant coach, am I getting hired because I'm actually good at the job, or am I getting hired just because I'm a minority? I fill that box.
Right, a quota hire.
Yeah, and that's something you're going to have to struggle with when you get hired to this position,
Right.
But how does requiring me to hire a minority as an offensive assistant coach deal with the disparity of black head coaches?
So there's science. Go ahead, Cass.
No, I was gonna say, so Jay, you got to remember there's 32 differences of opinions, right? Just like there's 6 differences of opinions right here. That's one thing. I want to attack something that I watched up on Undisputed earlier with Skip Bayless. He had an interview with an undisclosed GM about Doug Williams, right? I think that the quarterback from Grambling, the first black
right, Doug Williams.
Quarterback. Yeah. So from this undisclosed GM, he says that a black man does not have the mental fortitude to play quarterback in this league. That persona has resonated even with the offensive coordinators.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're implementing that for offensive coordinators. Because look throughout the league, you only have a few of them, and off the top of my head, I could only think of Byron Leftwich. That might be, and Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah. So
that's why.
And also, Kaz, they had a press conference and they was asked about that same question, and their idea of that is that the last 3 or 4 years, the head coaches who has gotten jobs have been coaches that was on the offensive end. Like if you talk about Shanahan and him showing how good he was, and what's the Rams coach right now, Sean McVay. All those guys was offensive guys on the offensive end, and that's where the league is trending, toward these offensive minds. So I guess their thought process is that we put them in net, that's going to create a better opportunity for them to get a head coaching job. It's still bogus. It's still bogus. It's still bogus because if I'm a coach like Sean McDermott, and I know he's a white man, but if I'm a black coach and I'm a defensive guy like Sean McDermott, right, forcing me into an offensive coaching position as an assistant, because I'm not the offensive coordinator, I'm an assistant. Yeah. I'm a quarterback coach or a tight end coach or receiver coach. Defense might be my specialty. I know Mike Singletary, defense is his specialty. So how does that help them? It's just a bogus rule. And if they really wanted to help and act and pretend like they was helping, I would have liked for them to just have this as black and not just the whole minority pool. But of course, anytime you just give something or appear to give something to a black guy, is going to cause an uproar. The real root cause of why we're still having the issue, no matter what rule we place in, whether it's the Rooney Rule or something else, the issue is we have 100% white ownership, or very close to 100% white ownership in the NFL, and they're going to continue, whether it's conscious or unconscious, hire based on what their bias is, and they continue to go for guys that look exactly like them. It's just like me going shopping and picking my favorite color, which is red. Jay, I told you about this earlier, right? Look at my hat; it's red. I got so much red in my closet, and I can't even help it. Every time I go find something, what looks good to me is the red. I always buy red. If I want something that don't have any red in it, I gotta let my wife buy it. And that's the
only. Melvin?
Huh? No, I'm not. No, of course not. Of course not. But my point is, my unconscious bias always go for a particular color, and it look like that's what the owners is doing. Their unconscious bias make them go for a particular color or race, and they don't know they're doing it. So the only answer is it can't be 100% white ownership anymore.
Well, I think it goes to, and Jay made an earlier point about us going for our own. Like, guys like Damon Dash have talked about they tried to buy NFL teams and these owners won't let them or whoever.
Won't let them.
Why are we not getting 3 or 4 of our, I'll say richest black whoever and making our own team? Going to a city where, there's no professional sports team and creating our own team.
Or creating our own
league. I'm not saying our own league, but creating our own team to add to the NFL.
Well, look, if you had to get voted in by all the owners to own a team, buying one or creating your own expansion still won't work. You still won't be able to get in the NFL if you had your own squad. So the only answer is your own.
Done, though. That's the thing. Like we go through all these links to try to prove that the owners are racist and stuff like that, and it's the hardest thing to prove. But if we get our money together, and I'm talking about these celebrities, whoever, and say, hey, this is all the stuff that we're required to us to have our own NFL team. We got everything, all our ducks are in a row. Let's make this happen. And then they say no. Then they got to come up with reasons why we can't do this, And then that's how you find out, oh, so you're saying, we can't do it because of this, but we have everything that we need. So what's the real reason?
I think that's fair. And I think that'll help us see where the line is drawn in the sand. Because right now, the glass ceiling is messing with our head so much. Like we would know what to do if they was honest and telling us we're not going to give you a fair shot. If they actually just said that, then we'd be like, okay, well, we'll go create our own. Yeah. But the fact they keep pretending like they're trying to be inclusive, and the fact that they keep showing us this glass ceiling by changing the Rooney Rule and doing that, it appears like they're doing something. But no one in the league now, was really around when the first Rooney Rule came out, right? As far as players, right? So they're not looking at it like, nah, we seen that first BS Rooney Rule and it didn't work, right? You're not gonna get us with this a second time. Like they're falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. Because I don't hear a lot of uproar about it.
Which was killing me. You remember when the ownership for the Panthers was up for sale, and Diddy and all these other people were saying, hey, we'll buy the team and do all this stuff. And yeah, they got shot down for whatever reasons, but it's like, what's to stop Diddy from saying, hey, Jay-Z, hey, whoever, like, let's pool our money. If we really want to do this, let's find a city that we can all agree on, and let's see if we can, bring an NFL team to that city.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Chris, you still there, man? Your mic ready? Chris just want to block on the score. Yeah, go ahead.
Say Chris just want to block the screen.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Chris thought this was Hollywood Squares. Go, my bad. Yeah. What's it? Yeah.